You can change the needle position on this machine to stop in the fabric, which is easy for pivoting, or above the fabric if you're going to be inserting new pieces frequently. On your presser foot options, your first option will lift the presser foot after trimming. Your second option will lift the presser foot when the motor stops running. So when you pause, it'll lift and allow you to easily pivot, or you can have it lift in both occasions. You should also have the clamp turned on for your upper tension so that when you trim, your thread stays in the needle. I'm going to set my needle to stop in the down position. And I'm going to double up my back tack. So forward, backward, forward, and then carry on with the stitch. It's programmable to suit your tastes. With an exact number of stitches in between. If you want to turn off all your back tacking, start and end, you're welcome to do that as well. And in this case, the machine will just stitch that 21 stitches and trim. Our next mode is a bar tacking mode. If you need to secure, say, webbing onto a bag, you can program the number of stitches forward and backward and the number of repeats of the whole cycle that you'd like to do. It's doing 4 forward and backward, 4 forward and backward, multiple times in a row. Pretty slick and painless to have that set up. If your thread is coming out of the needle when you trim, you may need to increase the tension on the upper pre-tension knob, turning it right to increase. Your final mode, it allows you to program multiple steps in a sequence. So in the multiple step function, you're able to program the number of repeats that you'd like to do of a particular function with beginning and end bar tacking. So in this case right now, I'm going to repeat my program 1. Yep. So program 1 is going to have 12 stitches in it. We're going to have a start and end bar tack after the full sequence, but in the middle it's going to go 12 stitches, raise the foot, 12 stitches, raise the foot. This is going to allow us to pivot and potentially travel around the blocks. Beginning and end stitching, 12 stitches, pivot, 12 stitches, pivot, 12 stitches, pivot, and I have this set to repeat 4 times, so at the end of this one it will do its bar tack at the end. It's a nice way to travel around something that is a consistent size without starting and ending at every point. I'd like to change the number of stitches in that repeat. Perhaps we'd like to go around a smaller box. We can change that down. Beginning bar tack, 3 forward, 3 backward, 10 stitches. 10 stitches pivot. 10 stitches pivot. 10 stitches bar tack at the end. This may take a little bit of adjusting depending on your project and how you'd like it set up. You could also do that without any bar tacking at all. Other options you have on this machine, there's a walking foot. like walking feet on other machines. Your arm will go over your needle clamp. The screw must be inserted from the side through the hole in the walking foot. And just take it back to free sewing for use with the walking foot. The machine will not register that you've changed programming until you've used the trimmer and finished the sequence that you're on. Changing the walking foot, use the manual presser foot lift on the rear of the machine. So the auto lift does not pinch your fingers between the walking foot and your hand. All the feet will change in a similar manner. Also, a straight stitch foot, a quarter-inch foot, and a stitch in the ditched foot, as well as a finger guard if you like going crazy fast. The finger guard, the screw will go through the small loop of wire for the finger guard, and the finger guard will sit in front of the needle when you're putting it on, if you'd like to use it. I'm just going to switch back into free motion quilting mode and show you how that is done. For free motion on this machine, you'll need to remove your stitch plate and add in the 5 spacers necessary to raise the stitch plate up above the height of the feed dogs. As this is not a machine where the feed dogs can be dropped below the level of the stitch plate. While you're in there switching these, might be a good time to clean out any lint and dust you may have accumulated in the hook area. So 5 thin spacers is the magic number to raise the plate up. Keep them all together when they're not in use. Go under your stitch plate, raising the whole plate up slightly. And then we're able to install our ruler foot. This is a height adjustable foot for both free motion quilting as well as ruler work. When you're setting the height on this foot, you'll want to make sure your fabric can pass easily underneath it. So it will depend a little bit on the thickness of your batting and your quilt sandwich. If you'd like to pull up your bobbin thread when you're doing ruler work, you can use the needle up, needle down function. Raise up our bobbin thread. I recommend in free motion and in ruler work, don't raise the presser foot when you're the speed that you're moving in free motion will determine your stitch length. The faster the machine is moving and the slower your hands are moving, the longer your stitches will be. Your speed can also affect your tension in free motion quilting. This will just take some practice and finding a speed that works best for you.